Hello kitties. Alright, we are trying yet another video after the overwhelmingly positive response from all of you last week. This week we are going to look at 3 films and ask the main characters, please stop making out with the monster. It's just horrible. As you may recall from last week, I said that this week's was going to be horrible horror movie sex scenes, or no means oh dear God, no. And I was all set to do that until I noticed that not one of the sex scenes in the movies I was thinking about were consensual. So, because rape is not even slightly funny, we're going to go with the more voluntary and less sexy, please stop making out with the monster. And it happens a bit more than you would think, and definitely more than you'd ever want. Our movies include Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors, and Hellraiser 1 through all of them. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, based on Stephen King's novel of the same name, features a happy couple in the traditional Stephen King sense. According to Stephen King, happy means physically abusive / substance abusing writer / loser husband, put upon wife, and as always, some sort of psychic child with other, developmental deficiencies. You kind of wonder where Stephen King grew up. I mean, I know it wasn't really Castle Rock, but Jesus. So, in The Shining, if you haven't seen it, they all go out to Colorado to take care of a ski lodge during its off-season. And depending on your interpretation of the film, they all go completely insane, or there are ghosts. So among other hallucinations or ghosts, if that's how you want to view it, there's a really stunning woman in a bathtub that Jack happens upon and, does what any married man would do, immediately starts making out with her. And much to his chagrin and horror, and also to the audience's chagrin and horror, it turns out to be this woman. Yeah. In case you didn't get enough of that, take a look again. Really just drink in the ugly. It's quite something. And basically, you're going to find in this triple feature, and when this stuff happens in general, really, you just shouldn't have been making out with the person to begin with. You should have known something was weird. Nobody's in the hotel. All of a sudden, not only is somebody here, hot naked chick. Come on, Jack, where's your brain? Now, we can blame Joey in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Masters, a little bit less. Joey is one of the Weston Hills Elm Street crew, the last of the Elm Street children by the third movie. Freddy Krueger had done such a good job that they were down to about, 7 or 8 kids left, and they were all locked up in a mental hospital because clearly they were crazy. They weren't, just getting killed. So, among other people is Joey, who, for reasons that none of the psychiatrists can explain, does not talk. It's nothing physical. And also, if you look for one scene, he seems to have one of those teardrop tattoos. Off the top of my head, I can't remember if it's open, if it's filled in or open. But either way, Joey has been living pretty hard in Springwood, Ohio. So, about 3/4 of the way through the film, all the characters try to go into the dream / nightmare together to unlock their super duper dream powers. And while everybody's doing that, Joey wanders off because the nurse that he has had the hots for signals him to, come here, we're gonna. Now, much like Jack Torrance's screw up in The Shining, really should have known that something was up. Like, not only is it the girl of your dreams that wants you, but she's coming to signal apropos of nothing, because, she hasn't shown any real interest in one of her underage mental patients. Funny that. But Joey goes anyway, and we can't really blame Joey, because Joey is at max, 16, 17 years old, and male. So, yeah, you would believe it. Sure she does. Sure she wants me, of course. Look at me. I got my teardrop tattoo. I'm badass. And I'm mute, so I can't tell on her. Noteworthy is that this is one of the few, really full-on naked woman scenes in the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Nightmare on Elm Street was never really that much of a nudie show. Little peeks in 1 and 2. You do get another naked woman, also involving Joey. Fred used the same trick twice and got him twice. In number 4, I'm sorry. I've spoiled part of a movie that is at least 20 years old now. 20? No, but just about 20. And then in the later films, we have really not a lot of nudity. So this is one of the moments where we get nudity. And it's great nudity. Just look at her. That's hot. Of course, it's Freddy in disguise. And you have to give credit to Fred for the commitment. I mean, he takes off his clothes as the nurse and asks Joey, "Do you like my body, Joey?" And then proceeds to rip his tongue out with her teeth and tie him up with it, leading to one of the best bad Freddy puns. "Feeling a little tongue-tied, Joey?" And that was just hilarious. Which brings us to Hellraiser. All of the Hellraiser. It's a thing when your film series' central theme is S&M zombies from beyond the grave. There's going to be a high sexual content. But God, why do they keep making out with these things? It's just like Julia is making out with Skinless Frank. Skinless Julia is making out with Dr. Channard. Dr. Channard is making out with Julia, but it's really not Julia. It's Julia's skin on Kirsty. So Kirsty is kissing the monster wearing somebody else's skin. We've got Craig Schaefer making out with the Wire twins. We got Adam Scott. And then when that goes south, he's shocked that, oh no, the demon thing that I've been sticking it to for 100 years is now betraying me. Oh my God. And so on and so forth. It keeps coming back to monster sex. Don't get me wrong, I love Hellraiser. Hellraiser's a good time. No, Hellraiser's not a good time, but it's one of the most artistic car wrecks you'll ever see, in that you just gotta keep watching this thing and see where it goes. Unless you don't watch horror movies. And if you don't watch horror movies, what are you doing here? I mean, come on. Horror movies are awesome. It's October. Let's do this. And by do this, I mean consensually. So next week is going to be some variation of metatextual horror movie fun. It's all just a matter of figuring out what flavor. My cat has wandered in. That's why I'm doing things with my hand off screen. Until next week, go out, rent these movies, Netflix them, watch them, get back to me, let me know if this worked, if not. Bring a lunch if you're going to try to watch all the Hellraiser movies, and concordantly, please bring a bucket. See you next week. Almost forgot, please go check out my friend Sylvie's Tumblr. It's 2S una frase. Probably mispronouncing that. She's good people, and she's a great photographer. So go take a look.